Kia ora anō, welcome back. So this is part 2 of my 2-part video about living pain-free with gallstones. And sorry if that's back to front, it means I'm too much of a rookie to figure out how to do it. And I just realised that my glasses were doing their thing that they do when I've got the sunlight. So I've just taken them off, but I'm pretty blind, so I could be looking anywhere. And I probably hopefully can read my words as well. So this vid is part 2, and it's going to be about what I have done to stay pain-free. So I talked about the 2 different schools of thought in my last vid. Go and have a look. This is what I've done. Using food as medicine. That is what I've done to stay pain-free. And I took my first kind of I guess what I looked at first was a video by Dr. Josh Axe, and I'll post a link down below, about a gallbladder cleanse. And that is doing kind of a 3-day thing where you just eat vegetables and bone broth and apple cider vinegar. I think I checked the video about everything. But I then started to do a ton of research about what else can I do with my food, because I do believe this is holistic healthy living Aotearoa, and I believe that our bodies are wonderful, amazing things, and that the things we put into our bodies are the things that help us to stay healthy, and the things we do to our bodies help us stay healthy and live a great long life. So this is how I've changed my diet. To about a year ago, my diet was completely different. Recently, I did go on another journey, the Noom journey, which I'll post about in a separate video later down the track. So I have changed my diet recently, but even more so once I was diagnosed with gallstones. So the first thing I've done is I don't eat processed foods anymore. Actually, mostly I don't eat processed foods. To begin with, for the first month, I only ate whole foods, single ingredient foods. And in the last little while, I've started to add just a little bit of stuff like maybe store-bought hummus, because who's got time to peel all those chickpeas? But yeah, things like that. And because all those toxins, all those preservatives to give your food a longer shelf life go to your liver. Your liver is your air filter for your body, and your liver is the thing that will kind of flush out all the bad stuff that you put into your body. And your liver is the thing that produces your bile and therefore impacts your gallbladder, and the gallstones can be formed. So whole foods are great. They go through your body like no one's business. Great stuff. I've cut out refined sugar and flour. So I think that goes without saying with the whole foods. I'm not sure if it does. Some people don't agree. So no white sugar, no brown sugar. When I'm baking, I do use stevia sometimes, or I'll use apple. I have this apple stuff, which is just pure apple, like it's apple syrup. It's pure apples. There's no sugar in it, other than the naturally occurring stuff. Maple syrup. I love maple syrup. I'm half Canadian. What can I say? And honey, just the usual sort of replacements, fruit, frozen bananas and things like that. And it's good, it's all good. No dairy, no more dairy, no more cheese, no more ice cream, no more cream and brown sugar on my porridge. But what I do have is, a little bit of maple syrup and some blueberries, and you're all good to go on my porridge. But I've also got here including eggs, because eggs are a massive source of cholesterol. So for me, I don't eat eggs anymore, and I don't have dairy. I drink almond milk. I have I don't know if this is particularly necessary for all people with gallstones, but I have actually something with my body that is gets, I have reactions when I have dairy. I get bloated and all that sort of stuff. So I have just cut it out. The other thing that I've done, which has made cooking and baking and coming up with really cool recipes for the whānau and for myself quite difficult, is this. So can't just look at the paleo recipes and the keto recipes, because everything needs to be low fat. I do know that fat triggers bile production, so you have to balance it. But I've cut out saturated fats. And so what I've got here is, so really only healthy fats only, and that's in moderation, like real moderation. I mean, seriously, for the first 3 weeks, I had no fat in my diet whatsoever, and it felt really great. But also the lean proteins. So because your liver has to work hard to break down the proteins and the fats and things. And so if you're overworking your liver and you've got gallstones, likelihood is you may have a gallstone attack, because it's just everything's getting clogged up in there. And the less work it has to do because of what you're eating, the better. And another thing that I have added to my diet is this. Every morning whoopsie, aroha. Every morning I drink this apple cider vinegar and lemon. So I'll show you. I have my apple cider vinegar that you can get from most supermarkets. I like this one. It just tastes a bit different. Not that different. Tastes like apple cider vinegar. So I have that diluted with a bit of this lemon oil, doTERRA. If you want to ever know how to buy this stuff, I can help you with that. PM me. But this, if I don't have lemons, a couple of drops of that with the apple cider vinegar, about a tablespoon every morning, does the trick. And when you've got, what I have started to do is I carry this with me, and I have another little bottle of apple cider vinegar. And if I ever feel like I'm clogging up, or I'm feeling like I'm on the precipice of an attack, before I used to be filled with dread with whatever I ate, because I didn't really know what was going on. So I would be like, oh, I hope this isn't going to turn into an attack. And now I feel so much empowered because I take that stuff with me. And you know, I overindulged. I had my sister-in-law's tangi, and I had 3 pieces of cake over 2 days. And one of those cakes was my Auntie Gloria's awesome chocolate logs, which are just to die for. World famous in the Christie world. And I started to feel clogged up, and I felt, oh, I need to do something. So I just drank apple cider vinegar and lemon oil with every meal. And perfect, you know, no problems whatsoever, no pain. I also, within a couple of minutes of starting to feel like something might be going on, I drank that with the apple cider vinegar, and primo, I feel so much better. Another thing that I have, let me just show you this, the natural supplements as well. So I've got natural supplements, because what you'll see online is there are a whole heap of different things that people are trying to sell you. But there's some people that just tell you about the ingredients in the supplements of what you need to get. Some of the ingredients I can't get here in New Zealand. But this one here, this is called Gut Assist. It's by Be Pure, Ben Warren. Who knew that dude was from Havelock North? I didn't even know. So I bought this at Cornucopia for cheaper than you can get online, by the way, just saying. And it is very expensive, but in it, one of the ingredients is ox bile, and that is exactly what it sounds like. It's the bile of an ox. It's been crushed down and put into these pills. But it's all natural, and it helps boost your bile production. So I drink that with, I have one of these. Well, I'm supposed to have one with every meal, but I don't. I have 1 or 2 a day. The other thing that helps promote healthy bile production is sour kai and teas with a bit of a tang to it. So I've got a tea here, which is dandelion tea, and it's recommended by a lot of the different people online who are talking about what to do when you have gallstones. The dandelion tea, I have this at night time when I'm a little bit thirsty or hungry still, and I don't want to eat anything. I just have myself a cup of tea, and it's a little bit sour, and some people might not like the flavour of it, but it feels good. I like it. I've learned to like it. They have a chai version, which if you like a bit of spices, it's a bit nicer. But the other thing that we have tended to lose out of our diet lately in recent decades is the sourness. So we do have sweet stuff and salty stuff, but where's the sour? Our kawa apples and fruits that have got a bit of a tang to it, cranberries, sauerkraut is actually really good for you. It's fermented as well, and so that's good for your gut, full stop. Sour, basically that feeling on your tongue that you get when something is sour, you go like that. Well, that actually is a signal that sends messages to your liver to start producing bile, and so that's all good. The more bile you can produce in a healthy way, the better it is for the bile that's in your gallbladder. And my hope is that eventually it will dilute it in so much that the stones start to break down a little bit. And my goal is for a year of living in this way, of eating this way. Well, I'm planning to eat like this for the rest of my life, actually, because it has lots of benefits, not just for my gallstones. But after a year, I'm planning to go back to get an ultrasound and see exactly if there has been a difference with my gallbladder. So that's how I have lived pain-free for the last 6 weeks. That's when I was diagnosed. I encourage you to do your own research. There is so much out there. Don't just listen to me. I'm not a health practitioner of any type. I'm just a person who has gallstones and has had attacks and have been on a 5-month journey trying to figure out what the heck was going on with my body, and have found a way to live healthily and safely and comfortably now with this condition. There is heaps out there. Read it, look for the commonalities, and then figure out what works for you. Stay in touch with your GP, visit your doctor. Don't hide stuff away from your doctor, and be straight up. When I walked into my GP after having my ultrasound, she said, "So, shall I send the paperwork off now?" I almost already did. And I was like, heck no, I don't want to have surgery. And so, and I love my GP. She's fantastic. She's a Māori woman from Wairoa. And I love that she just said, "Oh, okay, well, it's your body. This is what you want. It's all about what you want." And so she's been great. I'm going to see her tomorrow again for my second appointment after this diagnosis, and just see how check in where things are at. So keep that dialogue going with your health practitioners, because this is your body. You only get one of them, and we need to really look after it. And they are experts. They might have their conditioned brains with the medical world, but they are the experts. I guess the last thing I want to say is listen to your body. I'm a firm believer that our bodies know better than our brains know what's going on, and our body will try and tell us when there's something going on. And I guess I hope that with these videos, that those of you who are struggling with this kind of pain, that you go and see your GP, that you do your research and do what works for you. Listen to what I've said, but don't just follow it blindly. Find out other things and look for those common things and work with your own body as to what works for you. So that's how I've stayed pain-free with gallstones, and I will be posting updates throughout the year to see if there are developments, to see how things go. So keep posted, subscribe to my channel, whatever else, follow me on Facebook. I've got a Facebook profile, Holistic Healthy Living Aotearoa, and I'll see you there. Ka kite.